And then as visitors make their way through the exhibit, all right, what are you hoping that they see? What are you hoping they walk away with?
Sure. So I hope that they walk away with a better understanding of really the diversity of the Muslim world. I think a lot of people, their understanding is shaped by media and Hollywood and, those portrayals and obviously what's happening around the world. But sometimes, we get pigeonholed into, a certain description. And Muslims come from every culture and every background.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Rockford Public Library podcast. I'm Bridget Finn, Marketing Director at Rockford Public Library, and I'm so glad you're here. One of the things we value most at the library is the opportunity to learn directly from the people who make up our vibrant community. When we open our doors to cultural partnerships, we're not just hosting programs, we're creating space for understanding, connection, and shared experience. Today, I'm honored to be joined by Sameena Zahurullah, representing the Muslim Women of Rockford. Together, we're going to talk about the beautiful collaboration between the library and the Muslim women of our community, including the special Ramadan Storytimes for children and families, as well as the exhibit designed to educate and inspire visitors about the meaning and traditions of Ramadan. These programs are more than events on the calendar. They're invitations to learn, to ask questions, to appreciate tradition, and to celebrate the richness of cultures that shape Rockford. Welcome.
Thank you, Bridget.
I'm so glad to have you here, Sameena. It's wonderful to have you.
No, thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Sameena Zahurullah is here from the Muslim Women of Rockford, and she's here to talk to us about the partnership with the Rockford Public Library. The Muslim Women of Rockford are doing to celebrate Ramadan.
That's right.
Teach the community about Ramadan. So, to begin, I'd love to just ask you, for our listeners who may be experiencing Ramadan for the first time through the exhibit and the story times that your group is hosting, what is Ramadan?
Sure. So and I think many people are not familiar. So Ramadan is actually, it's the 9th month in the Islamic calendar. And the Islamic calendar has 12 months. What's important to note is it's a lunar calendar. So the dates shift by 10 days every year. So you'll go up to a Muslim and say, hey, when's Ramadan this year? They're not going to be able to tell you exactly. So even today, I can tell you that most probably it will start on February 18th, but it really depends on the moon cycle. And then the month can be 29 or 30 days. But yeah, so Ramadan is the 9th month in the calendar. But it's one of the holier months in Islam because for a few reasons. One of which is that it is when the Quran, the holy book, was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad. But also it's the month in which Muslims are commanded by God, Allah in Arabic, to fast from sunrise to sunset. And I think that's what most people associate Ramadan with, is the fasting. So we're coming up on it just, in under 3 weeks.
Right, mid-February.
Correct.
And so your group is hosting an exhibit here at Rockford Public Library in our Elias Cosper Gallery on the 3rd floor.
Yes.
And you are also hosting some story times. But I'm excited to talk about the exhibit. The exhibit's entitled Threads That Bind: Ramadan Dress and Service.
Yes.
What does that phrase mean to you?
It's funny you say that. We sort of were playing around with ideas in our group. We have a group chat and we're throwing out ideas. And we actually had this idea last year when we approached you for the exhibit. We weren't able to put it together then, but we really wanted to showcase clothing. So we went with that theme, but then we said, Ramadan is about so many things, and it is about charity and giving, and how can we incorporate that? So along with the exhibit showcasing various clothing, we're also going to have displays about the way the Muslim community here in Rockford taps into the charity aspect of being a Muslim, and specifically during Ramadan.
So that's the giving aspect of Ramadan is a is always a part of Ramadan. There's always a theme.
It's always a theme, and to take a step back, the act of charity, it's called zakat, is actually one of the 5 pillars of Islam. So Muslims should be practicing that throughout the year. But in Ramadan, it's more increased because the blessings are increased. And so people do take that opportunity to not only give financially, but give with their time and their actions in whatever way they can improve the community around them.
Wow, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And so can you tell me about some of the initiatives that your community is involved in?
Of course, of course. So over the years, and then as the community grows, I see the events and the opportunities increasing in volume. But we have food drives. Sadly, food insecurity is an issue. Not just in the Muslim community, but in Rockford as a whole. So over the years, we've always tried to participate in either canned food drives or peanut butter and jelly drives, but that's a very important component of giving back to the community. During COVID, we had a grocery box drive that was open to everyone. And so, that's a very meaningful project that people take part in. They participate in soup kitchens at various locations in the city. Along with that, we have clothing drives. During the winter, we do coat and hat drives. We have done a feminine hygiene product drive for newly arrived refugee women, because oftentimes when they're placed into their living situations, they're given basic supplies, but believe it or not, sometimes that's something that's lacking. So we did that last year. That was very well received, where we collected products and then we distributed them in the boxes to families newly arrived. And then, we have a free health clinic that a few members from the Muslim community from the mosque established. It's called the Shifa Clinic, and Shifa means health in Arabic. And it is housed in the mosque that is off of Arthur Avenue, called Ikna Rockford, Islamic Circle of North America Rockford branch. And so Shifa Clinic is a free health clinic. Doctors from the community rotate through there and provide services like blood pressure screenings and basic checkups, and then direct people to appropriate further care if it's needed.
Okay. And that's open to everyone?
That is open to everyone, yes. And if you want, we can certainly share the information that, that can be shared with the community later on.
Yeah, please, we will definitely include information in our show notes. So yes. Thank you so much. What an amazing way to serve the community.
Yeah.
Why is it important for you to serve the greater Rockford community?
I've lived in Rockford now for 25 years. And, I grew up in the Detroit suburbs in Michigan. And my parents, my mom, always very involved with the community. It's something that I grew up with. It's fundamental to the faith, but also I think, as for most families, it's a family value that many people carry of giving back to the community. I think Rockford especially is very open to people supporting the community in different ways. There's opportunities where everybody can step up and help. And so, now to combine, I would do things individually, but then over the last few years, I've tried to sort of gather this group of women, whoever has the time and energy. We try to find different projects because, again, it is a fundamental part of the faith, but also, it's being a good person.
Yeah, And I find that it's community building.
Yes,
and so
absolutely.
When you're part of a group, it strengthens your community to serve the larger community, certainly. And I have questions about the Muslim Women of Rockford.
Sure.
Did you found the group?
No, so believe it or not, Muslim Women of Rockford is the name of our chat group on WhatsApp.
Perfect.
And I cannot take credit for that. We have a lovely woman in our community, Ragad, who created the group. And I think, we have like over 300 women in the chat now. And people come and go. And it's just a place for us to share things. But it's also an opportunity to say, hey, you know what? They're looking for ESL tutors at United Way. Is anybody interested? We'll share messages like that. So that is the group. And last year, I was seeing that back in Michigan, where I grew up, and even in the Chicagoland suburbs, I was seeing initiatives during Ramadan of library story times and, city halls having displays about Muslims in their community. And I thought, there's absolutely no reason why that can't be done in Rockford. I know how welcoming this community is. We have a beautiful, library system. And so I wanted to take advantage of that. So I had the idea last year of, hey, let's do a story time. And it sort of went from there.
And it's been a wonderful partnership with us.
It has been, the Rockford Public Library, it really is a community space. It gives people an opportunity to come and learn and be exposed. I'm sitting right now in the podcast studio. I mean, there's great opportunity. It's a beautiful building. But more than that, it is such a strong part of the fabric of our city, and it really adds so much value. And so we're so thrilled. You and everybody else has been so welcoming and has really, held space for us and created space for us to share.
I'm so glad to hear that you feel that way. I certainly feel that way. We partnered for the first time on an exhibit last year during Ramadan. It was our best attended exhibit of 2025 up on the third floor. So, we're happy for it. Mm-hmm. And I believe that you and your friends, the women who have put these on, are doing so with their hearts open, and it's exciting to learn about these things. Mm-hmm. I have a question about women specifically.
Sure.
What role do women play in shaping the spirit of Ramadan and families and communities?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, traditional roles have changed for women, but I think fundamentally, at the end of the day, it is women that hold down the fort, that sort of give the organizational and emotional structure to their homes and to their circles and their communities. And so for Ramadan, it will be the mom who makes sure that the kids are waking up in the morning for the pre-fast meal. And, the women are sort of, making sure that sense of tradition and culture and, of course, faith is felt in the home. And that preparation begins, even weeks prior. There's a lot of anticipation before mm-hmm. Ramadan starts, but yeah, I think women at the end of the day, I think women really run the world, and just that they make that foundation for their families and their community.
Yeah, very cool. I want to talk a little bit about the garments.
Oh, sure.
Clothing plays a central role in the exhibit. Mm-hmm. Why is dress such a meaningful expression during Ramadan?
Yeah, of course. So, obviously clothing has, so many functions. It protects us, it gives us cover, it gives us modesty. But then also people wear clothing as an expression of their personalities and their culture and, many things. And so we wanted to focus on the clothing specifically in this exhibit to show the diversity in the Muslim world and just the Muslim community here in Rockford. So you're going to see we've tried to curate garments that cover many cultures. So you're going to see South Asian clothing and clothing from various Middle Eastern countries, African countries. The clothing, I think primarily we've chosen outfits that they would most likely be worn at the end of Ramadan when we have our Eid holiday, the celebration. And so the clothing reflects that in the colors and the fabrics and the embroidery, just that celebratory aspect of, coming through Ramadan and now gathering again with family and community and celebrating.
The garments are beautiful. I saw two outfits mm-hmm. And an accessory earlier, and they are so beautiful, and there's such care and hand embroidery, and obviously put together by artisans, right? Mm-hmm. And just
Absolutely.
Such great work, and wonderful the initiatives, but worth it to come check out the fashion.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely,
come on over and see it. Mm-hmm. I think that's amazing. And then as visitors make their way through the exhibit. All right. What are you hoping that they see? What are you hoping they walk away with?
Sure. So I hope that they walk away with a better understanding of really the diversity of the Muslim world. I think a lot of people, their understanding is shaped by media and Hollywood and, those portrayals and obviously what's happening around the world. But sometimes we get pigeonholed into, a certain description. And Muslims come from every culture and every background. So in this exhibit, you're going to see clothing, from all regions of the world. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to add, it's interesting that, even though the clothing might be from South Asia or the Middle East, again, the community here in Rockford, and now I speak for really many of the communities in America, they're so diverse but you'll still have South Asian women wearing the Middle Eastern gown or the abaya. And you'll have Middle Eastern women wearing the more ornate, like fabrics and embroidery that are common to India and Pakistan. So now, I think the unifying thread is that it's Muslim garb, but you don't have to be Indian or Pakistani to wear, a Palestinian thobe. So, and I think people will see that when they see the clothing, that they'll see similarities in the styles.
Right. That's beautiful. I love that. Let's talk about the story times.
Yeah.
There will be 2 story times hosted by the Muslim Women of Rockford. One is going to be held here at Maine in our Youth Services Department on February 21st,
I believe so.
Saturday. And the second will be at our East Branch on March 7th, that Saturday. Tell me what your thoughts are behind the story time.
Absolutely. I think, children are sponges, right? And they come to anything untainted. They view things through a lens of just openness, open minds and open hearts. So we wanted to teach the children about some of the fundamental underlying themes of Ramadan, which are kindness and generosity and gratitude. And, there's wonderful books out there. And I want to add that these story times are open to all children. They're not only for Muslim children, because those themes are universal. But I think what we wanted to, hopefully accomplish is that when children walk away from this, they get a better understanding that their Muslim classmates or their Muslim friends are not that different. And they understand the commonality of, kindness and gratitude and being a good neighbor. And, that they don't have any fear or, any idea of that it's foreign or strange to them. So hopefully, they walk away with that understanding.
Yeah, I love the idea of it. And I love how welcoming you and the Muslim Women of Rockford are by just inviting everybody to come and experience Ramadan, and learn about it.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing. Is your group choosing all the titles?
Yeah, so I know 2 of the women who are going to be handling the story times, they have a list of books, and I think they'll speak to the librarians and, decide what's appropriate.
Yeah, we talked about.
And it's nice that when I was growing up, I grew up in the 80s, and books, for children and stuff at this level were very limited, right? It was what you might find back home, but, you didn't find it for, American audiences. And now it's completely different. I mean, there's so many children's books and young adult novels, and so we have a wide selection to choose from.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's really going to be great. I'm thrilled. As far as the story time, for the children who, again, whether they're Muslim or they're American,
right,
you're hoping they walk away feeling a connection between the Muslim community and the values.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Ramadan.
Right. And, yes, I mean, that would be a great lesson for them to learn. It's very deep. Yeah. But even just reinforcing what I think children fundamentally feel. They're kind at heart and they have empathy. And we just want to reinforce that. So, the books, are likely, I don't want to speak because I'm not exactly sure, but the books are going to be about, being a good friend or, helping people, those themes. So
generosity. That's wonderful. And I know that I spoke to 2 of the ladies about, we have a storytime training. And so everyone is, they'll get their title straight. It'll be a wonderful, wonderful experience. You can find out more about that by going to our events calendar at rockfordpubliclibrary.org and also watch for the event on social media. Facebook will have everything listed. We're thrilled to have you, Sameena. We're thrilled to have the exhibit again.
Thank you so much.
I think it's going to be really, really well received.
We're very excited. It's a beautiful space up there on the 3rd floor, so we're looking forward to getting it up on the walls, and hopefully people appreciate it.
Absolutely. Okay, looking forward to it. Thanks again,
Thank
Sameena.
you so much, Bridget. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it too.